What is going on, everybody? I'm at the Mochit BTS on the Green Line. It took me just shy of 30 minutes to get out here from the Prompong area. I really didn't set a stopwatch. Call it 25 minutes. So it's not exactly right around the corner. Victory Monument. I don't know what that is from Mochit. 5 stops closer towards the direction of Asolk, maybe. That is a pretty popular destination to get out of central Bangkok and find a more affordable place. Coming down here, my girlfriend works in the area. One of the large banks' headquarters is down here, and we're gonna meet for a little dinner in an hour and a half. So I'm gonna wander around the area, do a little filming. I was supposed to meet her at the Central Lat Phrao Mall, and she told me to get off the green on Yoten, and she was confused. There is no Yoten. I'm not bothering her at work, but I'm assuming that is on the blue line. Mochit has a connection, this is the BTS, to the MRT blue. And I don't know if I've ever went from the green to the blue. I know I've gone from the blue to the green, but let me try to find it. And I think Yoten must be the first stop up the blue. I think it's Yoten. Anyhow, this is Yoten down here, so I can't be that far from it. And off on the other side of the street, you'll find the Chatuchak Market, and I guess that's Chatuchak Park. I should do a video in there. Yeah, maybe today, but I think I'm going to just make my walk over towards that mall. And I call it a weekend market. I'm not sure if something smaller happens on Tuesday and Wednesday in the evening, but definitely it's a large weekend market, one of the largest in town. You'll find everything from pets to silk to furniture, on and on. Many people might remember, I think it's still here, the airport bus that goes from here to Don Muang Airport. This was the end of the line, or actually the beginning, because the BTS headquarters, I think that is the building there. It's either on the right or left. It's somewhere around here, but the initial BTS went Mochit to En Nut for years and years. So I'll call this the beginning of the line, and I'm looking at the subway there, the MRT. So let's head down there and head up one station on the blue. Otherwise, I believe I have to walk over there, kind of behind those radio towers. That's probably for the BTS. I think that's where the mall is. Thailand does a pretty good job of signage in Thai and English, so that is helpful for me. You go to many countries and there either isn't a sign, or it's just in Spanish or Vietnamese. But here in Thailand, it's a pretty easy system to navigate. I know a lot of people say, hey, I'm going to the Philippines. They speak English in the Philippines. I've been to the Philippines, I don't know, a dozen times, or well, way more than a dozen times, and I hear plenty of other dialects. If it's Tagalog or Pasay, I mean, yeah, there's some English happening there, but there's plenty of English happening in many parts of central Bangkok, many parts of any kind of touristy city in Thailand. Now, if you want to live in a tiny town in Isan in Thailand, of course, you're going to have to brush up on your Thai, or not brush up on it. You're going to be speaking Thai 90% of the time. But I'd say it's the same in the Philippines. If you're going to live out in the province, yeah, you better learn Tagalog. And this is a pretty good, I guess we called them park and rides in the United States. I don't know if they charge. I don't see a gate or anything, but at the BTS headquarters here, I think the idea was come in from the outskirts of Bangkok, park here, jump on the train, and then head into central Bangkok. I was having a discussion with somebody, I forget. They were kind of saying, well, like to head to immigration, what's the difference between from the Asolk area? I told him, well, just go on the blue and then connect at Bang Sue to the red, and then head on out and jump on the pink. And he said I can also just stay on the green and go to the pink, and that's true, but I was telling him it's like 6 or 7 extra stops, even though they kind of merge at the same place, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, because Asolk is off in this direction, and to come on the green you need to come all the way kind of around the city and then come back up here, where Asolk over there, the blue, start, well, you can get on the blue at Sukhumvit and then come over here. So you're almost just like cutting a line across the city rather than circling it. So pay attention to the number of stops, because sure, the green, the blue, the yellow, the pink, whatever, they all might get you to where you need to go, if that's Don Mueang Airport or whatnot, but draw the straightest line from point A to point B, and don't circle the entire city and add 15-20 minutes to your trip. And that was the BTS Mo Chit, call it Skywalk. We came down. This is the MRT BO13 stop, Chatuchak Park. And most of the MRT, well, not all of it, is down below. The new MRT, which is the pink line, the yellow line, these new trains are monorails, and they are above ground. They're driverless cars. The other sections of the blue, mostly on the other side of the Chao Phraya River, will be above ground. So it's a little confusing. You kind of consider the MRT a subway, but half the time it's underground. With that being said, the BTS, which is mainly the light green line, which runs down Sukhumvit, or the dark green line, Siloam, what are the others? There's the gold line. I'm not sure if that's BTS or MRT. These are all above ground. And you can also use these train stations to get under the busy Yotan Road. If you want to get over to Chatuchak Park, there happens to be that skywalk, so it's easy to get up and over. But get a nice blast of air conditioning underground here. There's restrooms, shopping malls. I see a 7-Eleven straight ahead. Lawson Drug Store. And there is 0 people in line, so I'll just walk up there and buy my one-stop ticket. But you can use your Visa or MasterCard. You just buzz in and buzz out like the Rabbit card. You cannot use your Rabbit, well, that gets confusing. You can't use your Rabbit card on the blue line. You can use your BTS above ground train Rabbit card, the little card you load money on. You can use that on the brand new yellow and pink line. As a matter of fact, when you get off the green line up by that Watt, I forget what it is. It's if you're going to go to immigration on the green and pink line, let's say you live in Victory Monument, well, that's the shortest way. But that station is one of the few I know where you can get off the BTS and walk straight onto the MRT with your Rabbit card, and they work together. You can also jump on the yellow line from one station, go 3 stations down using your Rabbit card. So hopefully we're going in a direction of using one card everywhere, but it's not that way today. For whatever reason, the trains are owned by different people and different pay systems. It just is what it is. When you jump on the red train, that's a government train. So theoretically, you could take the green with a BTS card to the blue at Sukhumvit, pay an MRT fare or use your Visa card, and then pay again for a red government train to get you out to Don Mueang Airport or Laxi Station, where you would then transfer to the pink line, which is part of the MRT, and you have a choice with the pink, once again, to use your Rabbit card or buy a separate ticket cash. Or use your Visa or MasterCard, because it is part of the MRT system. And here's a map of all the MRT and BTS trains. Plus, they have a system of buses. I forget what it's called. I think it's BTR, BT Rapid Bus, something like that, where they pretty much run up and down. They don't have one on Sukhumvit that I'm aware of. More like in the Siloam area, kind of getting you to the other side of the river over by Icon Siam Mall, that type of thing. I've been on a BTR bus once or twice. I'm no expert. I think, yeah, in fact I know, because I used my Rabbit card. And here's an example. It wasn't 6 stations, it's only 5 stations, but if you take off from En Nut and you go all the way up the green to Central, Ratchathewi, Piatai, Victory Monument, on and on, Mo Chit, keep going up all the way to the Wat here, where the pink line connects. Then you go, where's right here's Changwatana. So you go to there, I believe it's 31 stops. If you were to start in En Nut, now this is a little trickier, you're gonna have to change trains, but if you go En Nut to Asok and get on the blue line, go up the blue line to Bang Sue, which is here, get on the red line, then get on the pink line, 1, 2. It's 25 stations. Neither are great options, but 5 stations is 10, 12 minutes shorter, and you just have to negotiate how to get through Bang Sue. 24 stops is better than 30 or 31 stops. Each stop, 2 minutes is being generous. 3 minutes might be more likely. Of course, you do have to change trains twice to go from the green to the blue to the pink, or the other way, you just go from the green to the pink. So if you're a little skittish, I guess, on changing trains, I can call it 2 minutes to walk off of one train onto the next train, maybe 3 minutes. Again, I just like going in the straightest direction from A to B. If I have to go through 3 train stations, that's fine. Now I came from, where'd I come from? Home, Prom. What I probably should have did, although I like to avoid this Sukhumvit junction, it is 3 in the afternoon, so it's not as bad. But what I should have did was either walked up here or went Prom, one station on the green. What I did was I came all the way up the green, kind of went out of my way. I'm now here at Mo Chit. I'm now walking onto the blue, going 1 stop to Yotan. What I should have did, it's probably a little bit quicker, is go to the green, jump on the blue here at Sukhumvit, come up this way. I'll count the train stations. Let's see, I'm going here to Yotan, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 train stations from Prom if I do the green to the blue. Now I went the green, now I'm getting on the blue at the other direction. So I'm trying to beat 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there you go. You want to travel 14 train stations, or do you want to travel 10 and make that switch at Sukhumvit? Today, I didn't really care. I just kind of felt like coming this way. I hadn't did it in a long time, but yeah, 10 train stations, even with call it a 2-minute train switch, is better to me than whatever that was, 14 or 15, doing the other way. I had an interesting conversation with a guy who told me it's nice that the train goes straight across Bangkok, and I didn't really understand what he meant. I replied back, yeah, it's a good train system, it kind of goes all around. He goes, yeah, when you look at the maps, down in the train, it just is a straight line. And I said, I don't think that's exactly drawn to scale. It's drawn for eyeball convenience, but yeah, these trains go in big loops, big circles, big L shapes, whatever you want to call them. All these train stations are super clean, super safe. I'm not a morning person. I think 5 or 5:30 in the morning, and midnight is the last train. They're a little bit more hardcore on the MRT. If you were to, I've never been up here at whatever, called 11:40 at night, but if you are trying to get on the train here, sometimes way before midnight, they're going to ask you where you're going. If you say I'm going to whatever, something way further than say a sulk, they're going to say you can't board. You won't get there before midnight, if that makes sense. I have other friends that live, say, by Petchabury, and we'll be in a soak, and it's 20 minutes till midnight, and they say, I got to go. And I'm saying, what's the hurry? Last train at midnight. I say, they will not let you get on that last train at I think 10 till midnight, even at Sukhumvit, and going 1 stop to Petchabury. The BTS, it's kind of the opposite way. I'm not sure where the midnight cutoff starts, but it's supposed to end at midnight. 9 out of 10 times, if you are, say, in Prom, you can jump on the last train going off towards En Nut at 12:10, 12:12. I wouldn't count on it, but they certainly don't. They're certainly not standing there at 15 till 12. And where are you going, Samrong? No way you're going to get there before midnight, so don't even get on the train. MRT, they kind of do that. I met a real nice lady from South Africa. She was solo traveler here in Bangkok, and she was saying how impressed she was the safety of the city and trains, and it's true. And the train announcer called it Ohoyoten. I just say Yoten, and I'm learning something every day. Boone, she rides the blue every day, so she told me get off here at Yoten. I told her I'm coming up on the green. Well, it was a situation where, kind of like Sukhumvit MRT and a Sulk BTS, it would be as though I needed to get off at Sukhumvit, and she told me get off at a Sulk. Well, I rode the green up to this junction. It's one stop past Mo Chit, and I sent her a text going, is it you, Mock? You said it was one stop past Mo Chit. And she goes, it is one stop past Mo Chit on the MRT, not the BTS. So we all make these little mistakes. It's not that big a deal, but I was just at this train station on the green. However, I'm looking at the sign going, this isn't Yoten, and I wasn't smart enough to realize it was also a green-blue junction, which is kind of crazy because Mo Chit is a green-blue junction, and the next station here, Yoten, is also a green-blue junction. So that's a little unusual. I don't feel too bad for messing that up. I'm not even entirely sure I'm correct on that. Now this is telling me Central Lat Phrao Mall is exit 3. So buzz out here and make a U-turn. And my second or third mistake of the day, and there'll be more, I thought I could make a U-turn and walk to the other end of the station, which you normally can, but not here. So I'm gonna have to go upstairs, and my exit to the mall is down there. So I'll figure it out. I'll take the exit here, and maybe I have a road to get across. There's a reason it said exit 3 and not 1 and 5, but I have no other option right here. I believe that sign was telling me, hey dummy, take a U-turn here, don't exit here. But such as it goes. And as I come up here, there's probably going to be a mall here. Yeah, at least it says exit 1 is over here. And I think 1 and 3 are closer to my destination. So I might as well walk through here rather than trying to find a bridge over whatever busy road is going to be above. These train stations are really nothing compared to crazy cities like Tokyo. Those are just underground cities in themselves. St. John's University and Central Plaza Lat Phrao, and that BTS Hayak Lat Phrao, that is where I arrived on the green. And I'm texting Boone going, there's no Yoten here. She kind of forgot the green blue junctions. Well, I'm catching her as she's doing work, so I shouldn't be bothering her at work. There's a little art gallery. There's a fancy haircut place, $5.50. And I've mentioned it before, my buddy Arm does $4.50 over on Soi 24. And every time I show him, I like to help him along, and he's always so grateful when I come in, like, hey man, 10 more people came in saying they saw my shop on YouTube, and he hired 2 more barbers, so I feel great. But there's always kind of the sourpuss who says, that's ridiculous, I pay 70 baht for my haircut up here in wherever, and okay, you know, settle down. That's not Central Bangkok, and that's probably not a half-hour haircut and shave and scalp massage or whatever the case is. It's probably a bowl on your head and you're out of the chair in 3 minutes. And I'll also get comments from longtime subscribers who are like, hey man, calm down on the negativity. You know, don't let those guys bother you about a 70 baht haircut. It doesn't bother me at all, but give me a little bit of a break. My only fun sometimes doing this is answering some knucklehead comments. You know, I get a kick out of it, so I'm hoping maybe somebody else will. I'm certainly not complaining. 99.9% of people that I've met through this channel or through the comments are the most down-to-earth kind of normal people. There's just that one little percentage that amuses me. How anything I say, if I say I'm at immigration and, you know, stand by here at Bangkok, be here an hour and a half before it opens, some guy way up in Isan somewhere, that's ridiculous. I get there at 10 o'clock and I'm out by 10:01, and who's talking about some little place in Isan? I'm telling you what's happening in Bangkok, but it just amuses me that some people that can go through life that way, I guess they just have a need to be right, and that person is normally the furthest thing from correct. Yeah, it's just funny. I got one of those today. I couldn't have said any more times. I probably said it 3 or 4 times. This is my experience in Bangkok. Your experience at another immigration station will vary. And he couldn't wait to say, you know, I've lived here 20 years. You couldn't be more of an idiot. It takes less than 5 minutes at immigration. And he certainly wasn't talking about Bangkok. He may have not even watched more than 2 minutes of the video and just had a need to feel good about himself, I guess. For me, I usually just delete those comments. I don't want a bunch of negativity on the channel. I know I bring it up here, just kind of making fun of the guy, but I'm hoping we're all making fun of that guy together. And I popped up from the underground. It's a nice little park here. Bangkok does an amazing job having these little parks, and you can see they're gathering the leaves, and over there is whatever, probably 10 people on station with this little park, keeping it clean. And I mentioned the nice job they do with signage around town. Just gives you a little map of the general area. And I still blew it. I still got off at the wrong exit. I should have got off over there or exited. I'm 99% sure that yellow sign is part of the mall. So like I was saying, you don't want to navigate these busy streets, and I'm pretty sure that's Yotan. In fact, I know it is. I see the Life building, a couple of condos. I'm sure you can get a heck of a deal in that Life building, but you just have to consider your lifestyle. If your girlfriend lives in that building, sure, stay there. But if you're just coming into town trying to figure Bangkok out, this isn't the easiest expat area. There's going to be a lot less English up here, and hanging out with other expats, that's going to be more in between Nana and say on Newt. And from here to take the train to say Phrom Phong, it's 25 minutes. And that's when the train's running. Again, stops at midnight, and sure, cabs are cheap, Grab, Bolt, all these kinds of things, but when you are in Phrom Phong or Soi Cowboy or whatever the case is, it's 2:30 in the morning, and you want to come out here to Mo Chit, nobody's going to want to bring you here because no other customer is going from here back towards Soi Cowboy. Now, they can stay in that area and make 4 trips, little round trips, before bringing you all the way out here and deadheading back. So stand by on talking to 5 different cab drivers, and if the going rate from here to there is supposed to be, I'll make it up, 250 baht, you better be at least holding a 500 baht note before anybody's going to entertain the idea. Ooh, this isn't good, but you'll notice no honking, no nothing. It's kind of a polite, less road rage society. I know a lot of people like to talk about the taxi scam and not turning on the meter and all. That is getting to be more and more frequent. It doesn't matter if you're a foreigner, a Frong like me, or I'll 9 out of 10 times stand out of the way and have my Thai girlfriend do the negotiation. But if we're out late at night and mix in rain, that makes things 100 times trickier. You are just not going to get a cab to turn on the meter anywhere around Phrom Phong or Terminal 21, or, you know, make it midnight, 1 in the morning, and it's raining. It's almost the highest bidder. So if I know the ride from point A to point B is 95 baht with the meter on, I'll just open the cab door and say, hey, from here to there, 200 baht, and he'll say, let's go, 90% of the time. Again, maybe I'm adding to the problem, but you be the one who stands out in the rain arguing with 8 cab drivers. I want to just get home, and if it costs me $5.50, I'm not really complaining. I complain more about Uber and Lyft in the US when it's 15 times surge pricing, and you know, that $20 ride turns into a $150 ride or $200. I did that before after concerts in downtown LA. So to pay $5 whole instead of $2.20, to me, that's not just, it's not the biggest scam in the world. It's pretty reasonable. All right, mistake number 5 today. I was heading off to the right where I saw that yellow signage, but that is clearly the mall down there, Central Lap Proud Mall. So I was exiting at the correct place. Whatever, I'll figure it out at some point, but this isn't my neighborhood. I've been up here a dozen times. Mostly this is flyby country, heading out to immigration or the airport. There was a ton of traffic down on Yoten, but it certainly has a more mellow vibe up here. I don't mean, how do I put it? If somebody is asking me in the comment section or in person, hey, this is my first time here, where should I stay? Or I've been there once and for whatever reason, you know, they stayed out by Suvarnabhumi Airport, and I'm sure that was the wrong place to stay, and it is. There's nothing out by Suvarnabhumi. You want to stay between Siam Paragon Mall and say on Newt, and if you even want to narrow it down closer, as close to Terminal 21 and the Asok Sukhumvit train junctions, and that will just put you dead smack in the middle of Expat Central. Again, save the comment if you've lived here 15 years that that's terrible advice. You know, I live out here in Mo Chit and it's beautiful and on and on. Sure, let the new folks ease into Thailand, learn a little bit of Thai, be a little bit more comfortable in Thai, but don't throw them right out here in Mo Chit. You know, a couple of Irish pubs and everybody speaking English around Terminal 21, that's a real nice way for at least your first year in Thailand, if not, you know, a number of years. I'm going on into year 3, and I love that area. Do I pay a little bit more? Sure I do. Maybe $200 more a month for my condo, maybe even $300, but I pay a whopping $550. Now other folks, they don't have any problem paying $2,500 US a month for their condo, and they're gonna have some amazing, beautiful condos in that more expat friendly area. Other people that are living on a super tight budget, nothing wrong with that, and nothing wrong with living out here and getting a, I don't know, $275 condo. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you have the money and you're just kind of looking for the adventure of living in Bangkok, and you want to be going out every night and meeting people and hitting the bars and Soy Cowboy on and on, you're a long ways up here in the Mo Chit area. If you're settled down and you never go out, maybe you'll meet the boys, call it once a month, down in the Asok or Prompong area. Nothing wrong with being up here at all. You'll just have to pick your spots. Your rent, believe it or not, is not going to be a major factor on your budget here in Bangkok. I mean, if your rent is $600-700 like most of us, getting $400 rent, that really has little to do with your budget. It's how much you're going to be partying. I know guys that pay $400 a month for rent and probably another $3,000 a month in drinking, going out every night, and that $400 rent is going to come with $150-200 a month transportation cost. Like I say, you know, you're going to be paying on New Year's Eve 1,000 baht to get out here to Mo Chit in a cab, but otherwise you better leave before 11:30 at night to get on that last train. Yeah, but get on these trains, don't be intimidated. I mean, I thought I kind of had the trains figured out, and I made a mistake today. Now, I didn't bother looking at the map. I would have easily figured it out by the map. I just kind of, I know where Mo Chit is. I think I know where this mall is, and I just get on the train and go, especially when my girlfriend is telling me get off at Yoten on the Green Line. Well, she was wrong, and she grew up in Bangkok, so it is what it is. But the worst thing that's going to happen is you get off the train and get back on the train in the other direction. What you don't want to do is just rely on cabs and grabs, you're going to get pretty frustrated. It's going on 4 o'clock now, and you can see it's just bumper to bumper traffic. Now, sitting on the back of a motorbike is the way to go, but I'll say 10% of my friends, including myself, we're kind of comfortable doing that. Maybe that'll bite me at some point, but I don't know. I'm probably up to, I don't know, way over 500 motorbike rides, and there's never really been an incident, short of kind of bumping my leg into the side of a bumper one time, but that was going 1 mile an hour, and I think he even scraped the car with its foot peg, so it wasn't a good situation. Everybody stopped, and they were yelling at each other in Thai, and I just kind of politely walked away. It wasn't any of my business, and nobody was too concerned that my leg got bumped into the car. So you're not going to sue anybody here, so you make your decision if you want to ride on the back of a motorbike or not. And this area is kind of cool. From here, you're not far at all to Victory Monument. That's one of my hangouts, Saxophone Pub. You are fine with hanging out at Siam Paragon and Victory Monument. Sure, I just kind of have Prom Pong and a Soak in my head. Again, that is Expat Central. That's where I live, and I like that area, but I'm not positive I'll stay there forever. At some point, maybe I'll calm down and come out here and rent a house. Who knows? You're not going to rent a house in Ekamai for less than $3,000-4,000 US a month. Out here, you might get a really cool townhouse for, I'll make up the number, $700 a month. I don't even know. And here it is, Central Lep Prau, Central World, Central Festival, I believe, in Pattaya. It's just one of the huge malls. And right at the junction, the Hayak Lap Prau BTS station on the Green Line above, or the Yotan on the MRT Blue that I just got off of. Yeah, every time I come up here, I like this area. I wish, and I'm sure if I lived here, I would find maybe a couple of cool options I'm unaware of. I don't mean to be that type of expat, like I need an Irish bar that, plays different sports games and all, but it's nice. I like coming to some of the Thai places like Tawa Dang, that Thai German beer house, and Thai music and everybody partying and Thai bottles of whiskey being passed around. All that's cool, but life is still that of an American expat, and it's kind of cool to hang out with other folks from Australia, the US, the UK, at different sports bars around my neighborhood and all, and my area just has the most. I know I've repeated myself many times, but there are many folks that, hey, this is the first time I've ever watched your channel. I'm just starting to do my research on a visit to Bangkok, and I have no idea where to stay, and I'm getting a pretty good sense to stay close to that Terminal 21 and then figure it out from there. Now, with all that being said, if you're going to purchase a condo prices and condo rents, there's a big discrepancy in Bangkok. My building, my rent is 19,000 baht for a 54 square meter. The building was built in 2004, I believe, and that's considered an old building now. If the building isn't 5 years old, they just, consider it old. And there's a little bit of conversation on they build the apartments cheap and all, and there's a little bit to that. But the other take is my building is so solid, I have never heard a neighbor, I've never heard anybody above me or any of that. Where I've lived in these other buildings, like the Life type buildings, and they're pretty darn thin. I could clearly hear the neighbor's TV and that kind of thing. And I would prefer a little bit older building that is built solid. I don't know. I'm not saying every older building's built that way, but they're both going to have cheaper appliances and cheaper IKEA cabinets, and that's just how it's going to be if you rent. Now, if you want to purchase a place, and other people, again, they'll wave their finger and say, you're stupid for even thinking about purchasing a place. You're not going to get a return on your investment and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. If a guy's in his 60s and he's been here, and you don't even have to be in your 60s, but I'm just pointing out most people that are in their 60s and have retired and, you know, they figured out one or two things in life and they're coming over. Sure, they can rent a place for, call it $600-700 a month, or they can buy a place for, I don't know, 150,000 US dollars. Now, you can say that math doesn't work out, or you could hate your neighbors, or blah, blah, blah. You know, it never ends. I mean, you would never buy a house anywhere if you just wrote down all the problems that could happen as far as neighbors, or they build a nuclear power plant next door, or whatever the complaint you're going to come up with. But I get it. Some people, they have the cash. They don't want to deal with calling their landlady if they want to change a couch or remodel the whole place, you know, put in nice fixtures and nice cabinetry, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you may be hard pressed in an area like a Sulk or Phrom Phong. Yeah, what might cost 200,000 US dollars, well, it might cost $70,000 down here in Mo Chet, and I'm just making these numbers up. But with purchasing, that would be a hard decision for me. Is it worth paying an extra, even call it $100,000 to live, say, in Phrom Phong if I'm going to buy a room, buy a condo, than Punawiti, you know, just a couple of stops past On New. Nothing wrong with that. It's 12-13 minutes from there to Phrom Phong. You just have to put everything down on paper, and there's no right or wrong answer when you're looking at different YouTube videos. And absolutely never buy a place in Bangkok or Thailand. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Who is that person to say that? Who am I to say that? It's what you want to do. Personally, where I live, I love the place, and I halfway considered buying it. And when I looked up the price, I was paying 19,000 baht, which right now is a little over 500 bucks. It was under 500, like 480, when the baht was doing well, and I looked into this, and I didn't look into it hard, but the sale price for my condo was $190,000. And HOA is not much. I think it's like 500 US dollars a year. And that's everything, you know, gardening. I don't know how they do assessments over here. If they just painted my whole building, I don't know if you can get assessment protection where they don't come at you with a, hey, we all got to cough up another $1,000 to redo the pool. I don't know. I've never owned anything over here. Perhaps somebody can answer that in the comments. And in the US anyhow, you can buy assessment insurance. But again, HOA, homeowners association fees, I know they call it something else over here. It's nothing. My one buddy told me his was $200 a year. I believe in my building it's $550 because I got the bill. They put it in my mailbox, and I called my landlady and said, hey, did you also get this bill? And she goes, yeah, I got it. I paid it. But I was just letting her know they put the bill in my mailbox, so I saw it. But again, I would not mind owning something myself. I've owned a couple of condos, a house. I haven't rented an apartment since I was in my 20s, and it's kind of a little bit weird to start again when, in my case, I was 56. I'm seeing a lot of government officers up here. Maybe there's something in this mall. Oftentimes, if you're a Cambodian or Myanmar worker, you go to the Central La Prau Mall to take care of your visa. So who knows? I know as an American, I have no need for immigration here, so I don't really know, but I'm seeing a lot of the uniforms. Anyways, I'm not going to say don't ever think about buying over here. Not that anybody's going to listen to me, but I think people have heard that so much that I've had two people tell me they want to buy, and then they follow it up with, I know, it's probably not the smartest thing to do. I'm like, what are you talking about? If you want to buy a place, buy a place. Who cares if you go to sell it 10 years later and you break even or barely get your money back or whatever. Not everything is going to be California or Florida real estate where you buy a place and expect it to double in value every 3 years. Here, it's more a matter of buying something to call your own and do with it what you may. And I have no problem with that. I might just do it one day. 500 bucks is still 500 bucks, and I'm going on year 3 of paying these rents. Yeah, at some point, you know, you're going to realize I've paid a lot of rent and don't have anything to show for it. Again, not that that's an issue. It's more a matter of I'd like to paint my walls, or I would certainly like to throw away my couch. I could probably work something out with the landlady. Hey, come take this couch, or let's give it away, and I'll go buy a super nice leather couch and you can keep it. How many times do you want to do things like that? It's nice to invest in some good furniture and keep it for a long time, not keep buying $1,000 couches and giving them up on Facebook Marketplace for $200 every year. I believe, yes, this is the BTS. So the BTS is at Hayak La Prau. It walks straight into Central La Prau, but my girlfriend was telling me to go to Yotin, so I made a little circle there on the blue. I don't know if I've ever been in this mall. It's fairly large. Some kind of, one of them all-you-can-eat sushi. Well, no, it's a 40 baht, depending on the color of the sushi plate and the conveyor belt type things. Maybe we're going there. And I didn't intend for this to happen, but I guess this video is kind of turned into should an expat live up here as far as 25 train stations from Asok? Again, I didn't intend for that to happen. Maybe it's just on my mind today. But just looking around this mall, you don't see any expats. Not that that's an issue. I don't come to Thailand to only see expats and only speak English, but I only do speak English, maybe a little Spanish. That's not going to help me here. So in this mall, if I go to AIS or True, try to take care of some cell phone business, nobody's going to speak English. I mean, it will be rare. But when you do these things at Terminal 21 or even in En Nut, it's not going to be an issue. I mean, it might even be part of the job requirement that we have so many expats hanging out around here. In order to work here at the phone store, you have to speak English. I don't know, but it's certainly convenient for dummies like me that are never going to be fluent in Thai. I can pick up words. I'm walking through the mall, I'm seeing all the Adidas, Nike, what is that, Lee jeans. We were having this conversation last night. My buddy, he is from New York. Oh, here's another expat. All right, we'll do the expat salute to one another out here in the outskirts. He was talking about a Rolex his dad gave him 40 or 50 years ago, maybe 40. And he got quoted a price to fix it at an official Rolex shop there in New York City. And it was pretty high, so he figured, well, what the heck, let me bring it over to Bangkok, and you would think everything's going to be cheaper in Bangkok, and it was a much higher quote. So who knows if it's a matter of import fees on those prices. I'm just saying this Guess pair of jeans is probably going to be cheaper at a mall in the US on sale, especially when it's around the holidays and it's buy one, get one free. For the most part, over here it's like $100 US every day. They just have like these little sale racks. You want 50% off? Well, we have one of these jackets left. I don't know. I am a little spoiled with the US and pricing. I know everything has gone up, but it's still cheaper 80% of the time in the US than what things cost after import fees and all. If you want Wrangler jeans, if you're okay wearing whatever Chinese brand, yeah, Wranglers they're gonna be a premium item. And unlike the US, most folks, maybe it's even more like a European thing. I've heard, I was listening to a podcast and there was like an Italian author on there, and he says, he goes, I don't get you US folks. You have a closet full of whatever, 30 shirts and 15 pair of pants, and you wear your 2 favorite shirts and your 1 favorite pair of pants, and the other things you just send to the Goodwill after 5 years and you've never wore it. Maybe you never even took the tags off it. And he said in Italy, he said, I have 3 shirts custom made with the tailor and a couple of pair of pants custom made. And I wear those things 3-4 times a week until they fall apart, and then I do it again. So maybe that's kind of what happens over here. this Calvin Klein jeans, they're gonna pay 2 weeks salary for that pair of jeans, but they're gonna wear that pair of jeans 3 or 4 times a week, and that's great. It's one of their 3 or 4 nice items in their wardrobe. And don't confuse the counterfeits. You can go to MBK and get what looks like a pair of Vans for, I don't know, 15 US dollars. But if you want the real deal, here's the classic, whatever they're called. I don't even know if this has a price tag. Yeah, I don't even have my glasses on, but they're gonna be 3,000 baht, 2,600 maybe. So that's kind of the same price as California, but in California, again, you get spoiled with the buy one pair of Vans and get another pair half off. So that's when you buy Vans. I personally rarely buy anything if it's not on sale in the US. I wouldn't go overboard. I probably brought, I don't even know, 30 shirts and another 20 brand new t-shirts and 15 pair of shorts. Where I got stupid was I really like reef sandals, not sandals, but flip-flops, but the really good ones. They're here and for sale. They're about 70 US dollars. I got all these pair at Ross or Marshall's when they're like 19 bucks. So the next thing you know, I had 6 brand new pair, and I'm still on my original pair. I mean, I have 5 brand new pairs sitting up in the closet going on year 3. So that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm just getting at, you don't need to buy 8 pair of Levi's. You're gonna go back to where you're from. In my case, a lot of my viewers are in the US. At some point, well, buy another pair of pants then. Don't be too concerned on bringing a ton of stuff over here unless you're an interesting size. If you're a 42-inch waist and you're 5 foot tall, yeah, that's gonna be an impossible size to find over here. You might want to bring 3 or 4 pair of Levi's, but everybody else, you're gonna be okay with 2. And I mentioned it before, but do not put off that cell phone purchase or whatever. You want the new MacBook? Get all that in the US. I don't know what the prices are in Australia or the UK, but I'll say 25% cheaper in the US and 35% cheaper oftentimes if you can get it on sale. If you can get the newest i7 fancy whatever laptop with a 1 terabyte blah 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 at Costco for 700 bucks, that same laptop even on sale might be 1,200 bucks here in Thailand. Again, you would think they make a lot of these things in Southeast Asia, but many of them computers are Apple's coming from the US, I guess, so there's certainly going to be import fees. We've all seen the different videos on folks talking about 300% import fees on Corvettes and Ford Mustangs, and I think some of those same high import fees apply to Apple products and things like that. So some things are going to cost more and some things considerably less. You want to get your car detailed, they'll probably work on it for an hour and a half and charge you 10 US dollars. You want to get your clothes, I'm 5'8", so a lot of my just off the rack shirts that I wear untucked, like a whatever, an O'Neill surf type shirt, they're still like an inch too long, and I had them all tailored, and it was $1.50 US to have a tailor shop cut them up and fit them for me nice. So things like that are a giveaway. Or other things, you want the new iPhone 16 Pro Max, yeah, you're gonna pay $200 extra, and I'm making it up, but that's probably not far off the mark. Now, is that worth trying to order it on Amazon and hope it shows up and hope you don't have to go to the post office and pay another 150 bucks in customs? I wouldn't do it. Amazon's it's kind of screwy. Some people get away with it. You're supposed to pay the customs through Amazon, but nobody told the Thai customs agent, I guess, because oftentimes a product will show up, and it's never happened to me, but I've heard tales. One guy, I think they were pants, like Levi's or Dockers or something. He ordered call it 4 pair for whatever it was, 200 bucks, I don't know. And maybe it was 100 bucks, but he paid $20 custom, something like that. So 120, which was still cheaper than buying them here. 250 bucks to buy those same 4 pair of pants. Again, I'm making these numbers up. But 3 weeks goes by. They kept saying it's been delivered. He doesn't have it. Found out it was being held at customs, and then they held it at the post office. About 6 weeks later, he had to go to the post office, pay another whatever it was, 18 US dollars, in Thai baht, of course, to release the package. So it was a big hassle. It could have even been returned back to the US. He then had to argue with Amazon, and I guess they refunded him the original customs that they had collected, but I don't know. It's probably better to just come here to the mall and just pay the extra, whatever it's going to be, $15, $18 for that pair of pants. But it might be $50 more if you're dealing with higher end products. Here's a good example. I have one of these, I call them little, I don't know what they're called, puffer jackets. These like down jackets that you just squish into nothing. And I got it like at Costco for like 30 bucks. And here, I don't have my glasses on, 7,390 baht. So what is that? That's a lot of hundreds of dollars compared to, what did I pay? I don't even remember what I just said. Maybe I paid 40 bucks for it at Costco. There's no Costco deals over here. I had to look it up. I was gonna say 200 bucks, 210 bucks for that coat. And I've used it twice. Not a real need for a down jacket around here, but something that squishes up tight when I am running around Japan or Korea. It's nice to have. I don't know if it's worth me coming in here and buying it for 220 bucks. You'll see a lot of people wearing masks around Bangkok, and it's not a pandemic thing, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, way decades before all that, before masks were fashionable in 2022, folks were wearing masks. What are these guys? Mormon gentlemen, I guess. That's cool. This is their mission. That might be a tough sell out here in the outskirts of Bangkok, but the masks, you'll still see people wearing them everywhere. And one guy in the comments was kind of really getting upset. He was kind of taking the attitude of, what are they still afraid of? You know, pandemic's way over. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, in my view, it has to do with pollution. And this is a major city with all kinds of bus traffic and on. And yeah, I mean, I never was really one of those guys, a little bit. I mean, I was a mailman, and they were making us carry mail outside with a mask and all, and that seemed a little silly to me. I get it. When we were trying to figure out what was happening, we were all wearing a mask inside the post office, but there was the 1 or 2 people out of a couple hundred that just never took that mask off, it seemed, for years and years and years. But here comes some folks, and I'm not trying to point anybody out or whatever, but you know, they're wearing masks walking through this shopping mall. A lot of it in these Asian countries, it's they have a cold and they don't want to spread their cold. I mean, I think folks in Japan have been wearing masks for 50, 60, 70 years. But even in Bangkok, it's more a pollution thing here, I think, than I have a cold and I don't want to spread it. This is kind of a dirty city as far as fumes and all. So yeah, I'm certainly not, why are these people wearing a mask? I could care less. But again, another, we'll call him unique person in my comment section was getting really upset and calling them stupid and ignorant and on, and that's just uncalled for. Up on the 4th level, the BCC hall, which I'm assuming is a food court. You know what, I take that back. I'm gonna go take a look. I think it's a convention center. I think the food court is here on the 4th, and on the 5th floor is the BCC hall. And here's the 4th deck. Some nice restaurants. Some kids practicing their dance moves by the elevator. You know, I can't even get up to that 5th floor. I think you need to go to the elevator and have a reason to be up there. And I don't see the cheapy type of food court. These are little restaurants. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Every mall has something like that. Oftentimes it's in the basement or on the top floor. So there you go. There's a little peek at another mall out here in Mo Chit area, Bangkok, Thailand. This is a great city. Come check it out. Don't worry about trying to figure it all out. You'll do that when your boot's on the ground. You can watch these videos or read Facebook groups or read Reddit, and yeah, there's some pretty opinionated folks on there. I try to, we all have our opinions, we all lean in certain directions, and I can tell you what works for me, but what's going to work for me, I'm certainly not going to wave my finger at anybody and call them wrong or stupid or whatever because they choose to do things another way, if that's buying a condo or living out here as opposed to living near a sulk. Everybody is different. I am going to make a video at some point which is kind of the basics, kind of this is my opinion, the easiest way to move to Bangkok, kind of live around this area, kind of hang out in these places. These 20 or 30 buildings is a good place to start looking, close to the train area and all. And then if you want to come out here and live 3 miles from a train, 15 miles away from the center of Bangkok, so be it. But don't initially go there. It's kind of like going to Vegas for the first time and not staying anywhere near the Vegas Strip, staying 10 miles away in Henderson, and yeah, Vegas wasn't all that. Well, you weren't in Vegas. You were in Henderson, Nevada. So take that for what it's worth. So you take it easy. There'll be plenty more videos to come, and consider subscribing for more looks around town. That's what I do. I'm here and I'm out running around, and I just bring the camera half the time. So we'll see you later.